Hey, you guys. So, yesterday we got a lot of news in regards to Epic Universe, which is the newest park that's going to be opening at Universal Studios in Orlando. Now, there was a lot of speculation before this announcement was made in regards to what are all the parks going to be? Like what are all the different areas going to be themed after? We did know one already, which was Super Nintendo World, that originally opened at Universal Studios in Japan. Then it opened in Universal Studios in Hollywood. Now it's here. It does sound like, though, there's going to be a few different things that are a little bit different in regards to attractions at the Super Nintendo, but essentially, it's kind of, I would almost say, things that we can expect from the other Super Nintendo worlds in regards to looks and what you may see, things like that. So let's walk through all of the lands. I'll share some of my thoughts after the original information. And yeah, we'll go from there. So, everything that I'm going to be talking about here, like with this map that I have, I got from IGN. I will make sure to put that article in the description down below. I will also include Universal's site where they talk a little bit in regards to some of the different lands and everything and that information as well. I'll also put the announcement or trailer video as well if you wish to watch that, where essentially the minds behind it give their input and thoughts. So essentially, Celestial Park is, I would say, the hub for the park. That is where you will enter a lot of the lands. They have different, they call them portals. And so Celestial Park has like the largest portal where that's where you enter. A lot of the shopping is going to be there. There are going to be two different attractions. One is a dual racing coaster. Another one is a carousel. And essentially, with Celestial Park, given the architecture and I think how things are going to be designed, it's more space related. Like it's going to be more astrological and like myth based in regards to that particular land and how it's themed. Then we get on to Super Nintendo World. It has been confirmed that there will be a Donkey Kong attraction as well as it sounds like a Mario Kart styled attraction within that land. And then there you can meet Luigi and Mario, Peach, Super Nintendo characters. Dark Universe is essentially the theme there is think Halloween Horror Nights with the original monsters. So you'll have Dracula, Frankenstein, werewolf, um, those kind of original, like OG monsters. And here, essentially, how that story comes to life is Dr. Victoria Frankenstein. That's where she kind of brings these creatures to life. That's where you can meet them and everything like that. So I think of it more as like a all around like horror land. Then you're gonna have Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, where essentially there you are getting the elements of 1920s Fantastic Beasts with the Ministry of Magic, as well as Harry Potter elements that we see for Ministry of Magic. So there it just sounds like we're kind of diving deeper into the Harry Potter like lore, I'll say, with looking at Ministry of Magic, and it's combining Fantastic Beasts with Harry Potter. Then we have How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, where essentially there it is themed to How to Train Your Dragon, so like Vikings and dragons. From what I've heard, it is more. It may be more like family or kid type coasters, but I think a lot of this still is very much speculated on some of it. Like, this is as much as we have. There's probably more if you dig a little bit deeper. But I think with a lot of these lands, what I think with some of them, they are diving deeper or trying to get a little bit more granular in regards to, like I said, with the Harry Potter land. There you are really like, you have the other items at Universal Studios. But here, now you're kind of, hey, we have Fantastic Beasts, and it's not just Harry Potter, and you're looking at a particular element within Harry Potter. I would be very curious. I don't know how far Universal Studios is from Epic Universe, but I'd almost be curious if they would ever find like a little transportation or way to connect the two worlds, kind of like how they have at Universal Studios with the Hogwarts Express. Um, Attraction. Some call it an attraction, some it's just a way to get to. But I would almost be curious, again, depending on the length and how far it is. Can you connect the two so then it's all the Harry Potters are kind of together instead of having to you have one here, one somewhere else. Now, when it comes to the Helios, so in the back there's a hotel. That is, I would say, how they're describing it is a grand hotel. So that's something where you will have like easy access into the park. There will be 2 other hotels that Universal's also building near the park. So then again, it's not too far, you can easily access them. But I think what I feel is really interesting here and what they're trying to do, because again, even with the hotels, they're really trying to make it, I don't want to say space themed, but that's again, it's in combination with the Celestial Park, is they're really trying to base it off of astronomy and even some myths when it comes to, I don't want to say stars, but I'm very curious. Like, I like the connection, I like the theme, and especially when you go into these different worlds, there are portals that will take you into them. So this is the one that will take you into the Celestial Park. That's kind of the more, I would say, grand portal or entrance that you see. And then the other lands, this is essentially what their portal is going to look like. It's more, I don't want to say downscale because it's still like an interesting and cool idea, but it's not as big as a Celestial Park one because that is the main hub area. So I think with a lot of like this concept and what they're trying to do, it's like, hey, let's transport you into a different land. Now you're here, now you're there. It's kind of like, I don't know. I think it's an interesting concept, and especially with Epic Universe and you're having all these connections with in Universal, it's a cool concept. I think for myself, in my opinion, the one that I'm looking forward to the most is Dark Universe. And that's just because, honestly, to me, like I said earlier, it feels like hopefully it would be like Halloween all year round. I am curious, what attractions they plan to have there. If it is something too that's going to be immersive in a sense. So will there just be creatures walking around? Will there be more of like a animatronic situation where it's, given effects, or like, hey, here's some fog, just kind of give it that aura that it's spooky or I'm just curious what that particular land is going to be like, and I like the concept of that. Again, I feel like they're really going into their into the hat and seeing, hey, what can we play around with, what will people like. And from what I've heard, a lot of people are very curious about that particular area. Not saying the other ones aren't cool as well, because they are, but that one is, I think, very unique and different. So that's one I think a lot of people are looking forward to the most in regards to this. I think with this announcement, a lot of people just, sometimes things are just shared, and so you don't anticipate, hey, today we're gonna announce this. And so I think yesterday, with this announcement being made, a lot of people are really excited for it. They were already, but now that we kind of have confirmation in regards to, hey, these are the different lands, this is everything that's going to, as of right now, that's been announced, be a part of the land. I think it kind of builds that anticipation a little bit, and people are getting excited for it, and I definitely am. Now that there's more in regards to, hey, this is what kind of the theme is, this is what's going on, and this is what is available. So I think it's a cool concept. I'm curious to see what other attractions will be a part of some of these lands and how the theming will be, kind of just how it turns out, honestly, because by the looks of the concept art and what they have presented, it looks very cool. So it's going to be interesting to see just how it comes to life. That's my thoughts on it. Wanted to share with you all the news that was shared yesterday. Let me know your thoughts down below on what you think, what you're most excited for, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.